Don't any of you have the guts to play for blood?
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
Howdy, partner. This is Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. And today, I'm going to talk about the Drifter. So, it's been about a year ago, someone in my comments mentioned this game. And at the time, I had no clue what it was. And I didn't think to go look. Then, as I was browsing one of the boards on Board Game Geek, I saw this name came up several times, and I decided to take a look on Drive-Thru RPG. Looked interesting, so I picked up a copy. Now the print on-demand version that I have here, I think it was around maybe $17, and then came with the PDF too. The PDF is only like $3.99. If you do get the Drifter print on demand, make sure you select the one that comes with the PDF as well, because the book here does not include any of the things that you see here that you need to play. It just includes the events and the rules, whereas the PDF includes the sheets that you need to play as well. It's a little bit confusing, but that's okay. So this board state here is after my first completed game. So you're getting my fresh take on this game. And there's a lot to like here. So what the Drifter is a solo HexCrawl kind of RPG light situation. You are recreating the story of a lone outlaw out in the Old West. You basically start with next to nothing. You got a pistol in your fists and maybe a little bit of cash if you're lucky. I was not lucky in that regard. And you may even have a bounty on your head already. I unfortunately started with a pretty high bounty on my head. But basically what you do in the Drifter is every day you get to take one action, which is generally either moving or healing or interacting with your partners if you have any. I never did gain a partner. Well, actually, I did, but then he cheated me and stole my money before he ever helped me with anything, so I didn't really get to enjoy having a partner. But, so you do one action, and then you roll on an event table. The level of the event is determined by your current bounty level. This goes up based on bad deeds and different events that you participate in. Some of the events actually say if your bounty level is none, then you don't have to do those and you get to do something else instead, which is kind of neat. Mechanically, this game is very simple. You have a wound level, which affects your finesse score, which is added to any physical actions you do. You get a random hunch ability, which is a D4 at the beginning of the game. I got lucky and rolled a 4 whenever I set this up. And that basically is your intelligence. And then you start with 2 karma, which are basically rerolls. Those are your luck points, kind of. Your goal is to get $300 so that you can buy a ranch and kind of retire. As I said before, you start with your fists and your rifle, and you'll notice a lot of things are determined by suits. So your fist is a none suit. So whenever you roll combat for a fist, you're going to have a lot less likelihood of doing some serious damage. Your pistol is going to be a diamond, which is kind of a middle-of-the-road weapon. And then if you pick up a rifle, it's going to be a heart. I never got a spade. But as you get higher up on the weapons tables, there's more and more chance that you can do heavy damage or maybe even outright kill an opponent in one shot. There's a lot more to this game than combat, though. I was kind of expecting this to just be a mindless dungeon crawl in the Old West kind of setup, and that's not what I got at all, and happily so. Playing through, I never used the combat mechanics until I was, probably 25 or 30 days in. Each action and then event is a day. But that's okay, because the things I was doing were very interesting. You know, I was meeting people, I was hearing about different points of interest. That's another thing. On the character sheet, you have these points of interest, and when you find one, you put them on the map. Then you can go check them out, and they give you a specific event that you can do when you get there. One of mine, a town got destroyed. That's why I had this little skull and crossbones on that town. But anyways, you do these events, you meet people, you get choices. You can, a lot of times you get the choice to either rob somebody or befriend them. And just keeping in mind that your entire goal is to get to $300 so that you can retire and live a peaceful life. But as you are an outlaw, there is a very good chance that there's going to be a posse that gets up to take you down. And unfortunately, I got my posse very early in the game. I think it was my second or third day, a posse came up, and they started right here. And if they ever catch you, the game's over. You're just done. They move one towards you every turn. Generally, you only get to move one as well every turn, so that can be a problem, especially because there's events that make them move an extra one. But there's also events that let you move an extra one or two. So this is how close that the posse got to me. They were only a couple of hexes away, but I had, after I hit my first combat encounter, I got several combat encounters in a row, and I was really doing well. So I got a little cocky, and this is actually the setup for your enemies. And where I have these spent casings is actually indicating their wound level before they killed me. So this guy here had a debilitating wound, which took 3 off of his finesse score, which again is used in any physical activities. For him, it's only going to matter for combat. The second opponent was not wounded, and my third opponent had taken a heavy wound, which was a -2 to his finesse score. But that doesn't matter, because I'm dead. And that took several turns of shooting at each other, often missing. But at the end of the day, my drifter got killed. So what did I think of the game? I think that as a print and play, this is a phenomenal value. $3.99, you can have the PDF. The PDF version of this has a table in it that is linked to every event. So you just click on that index and it will take you to every event in the book. That's awesome. Also, every event has a link that you can click on that will take you to the specific rule, how every interaction and mechanic in the game works. That's awesome too. So the value is definitely there. Me, I am a sucker for paper books. I knew that I had to have a POD version of this, and that is actually the thing that got me to buy this, is that they had a POD version available. I probably wouldn't have even given it a shot if it was just a PDF, but I did because of this. And it is a beautiful book. It's really nice. It's a softback, but it's got color text in it, and it's laid out extremely nicely, and it just reads really well. The writing in it is really interesting. Every event has so many different outcomes with various tests and possibilities that in this 200 and some page book, there are nearly limitless combinations, and I could see myself having a lot of fun with this for a very long time. Now, one of the things that I would say is a requirement for me, at least, is having these sheets laminated. So if you don't own a laminator or have access to a laminator, your mileage may vary. So when I'm done here tonight after I film, I can take a wet paper towel and I can just wipe this off and be ready to play again. Another thing that I did with my copy, the PDF comes with tokens, which I find are very difficult to pick up or keep in place because there's just no weight to them after you've printed them. So I was trying to think of ways to weight them with something that's about the right size to fit in these tiny hexes. And I got to looking, and I always keep shell casings after I've gone and target shot. So I've got some 44 Magnum and 9mm spent casings for rounds that I have fired. And so those I have hot glued the different tokens to. Got little towns here, and you've got points of interest, and you've got your bounty level. And then I was also using some spent 9mm casings to track the wound levels of my opponents. So who's this game for? If you are a fan of the spaghetti westerns, if you enjoyed Tombstone or Unforgiven or Young Guns, this is a game for you. I understand that this game is heavily influenced by Barbarian Prince. I've not played that, but after playing this, I think I would probably like it. So if you like Barbarian Prince, this game's probably for you. If you enjoy very swingy but still fun mechanics, and you don't get too frustrated when things don't go your way despite your best efforts, this game could possibly be for you. Now, who's this not for? If you are expecting a high level of strategic play or detailed combat or even a combat-centric game, this game's probably not for you. There is an interesting story element to it. As I said, a lot of this game is not just combat. That being said, a lot of the times the story choices you have limited influence over, or possibly none. Some of the times I robbed people and I didn't even get a choice. It was just a result of the die roll. So if you're really wanting to have a lot of story narrative control, if it's going to bother you that you don't get to make every choice, then you might not like this game. But I do think that there's a lot to like here. And I think that given enough play, you are going to find that this will give you the feel of reliving some of those classic dollars films with Clint Eastwood, and you can be the man with no name, or the High Plains drifter, as it were. So my suggestion for this, give Drifter a try. At $3.99, you can't go wrong, and I think the print-on-demand book is still a bargain as well. So Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've played Drifter and you have thoughts on the game, please do share. Like I said, this is just my first playthrough, but I'm sure there will be many more. If you have played anything similar to this, if you've played Barbarian Prince, I'd love to hear about it. And have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you're spending time with your family. Until next time, this has been Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. Good gaming, and God bless.
I'll make you famous. Mr. Chisholm, which one of these boys is the fastest with the iron?
Don't you do it, Billy.
That'd be me.